This is your Q&A, Social Security Disability Today. I'm your host, Attorney Anthony Reeves. Let's get to your questions. Why won't judges take into account the fact that people won't hire me due to my disability? Okay. The hiring practices of employers are not an area of concern for a Social Security Disability judge. Get it out your mind that a judge should take that in consideration. No, they should not. Let me tell you why. There are other areas of law that have to deal with discriminatory behavior by an employer. If you go to apply for a job and an employer goes and says, I'm not going to hire you because you can't walk, and it's a sit-down job, and so you think he's discriminating or she's discriminating against you because you have a disability, you know what you go to? You go to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, you file a Title VII or a state discrimination claim against them, and then you sue that employer. That is the proper vehicle. In a disability context, they're not focusing on the employer. They're focusing on you. They're focusing on, can you do a job? And let me tell you how this usually plays this out. Because I've had clients who'll say, they'll say this all the time. Well, nobody wants to hire the person, and I have to stop them. How do you know? Well, I know. No, you don't know. You're speculating that they won't hire you because of this. You've convinced yourself they won't hire you because of this condition that you've had. But do you have any examples? And then I've had one or two say, well, I went to this employer, and did they flat out say, well, no, I'm pretty sure. No. Once again, you said you're pretty sure. You don't know. You just assume. You just made that leap because clearly before you had these problems, getting a job was not a problem. But once you started having a disability, that's got to be the sole reason. It may have nothing to do with that. What you do is that if you have a reason to believe, not just a speculation, not because you think in your mind that because you got a problem and so forth, that they don't want to hire you because of your medical condition. If you have a good reason to believe, whether it be because somebody who works there told you that they would never hire anybody with your condition, maybe there was something they sent to you inadvertently in writing or an email you got you shouldn't have seen, then you need to go and find you an employment lawyer who takes discrimination cases or civil rights cases and file you a claim with the EEOC and go through that venue. When you're sitting before a judge is not sitting here asking the question, it's why that employer didn't hire you. Their question is, if that job was available, can you do it? That's all they want to know. If you can do it, then you're not disabled under the regulation. And the reason why I hate to sound a little overly passionate about this, but every now and then I get people coming to me and they always want to holler about, oh, employer would never hire you. But you're not every employer. You don't know what's going through their mind. What's happened is that you've allowed yourself to believe this. And trust me, I know it's frustrating. Because before you had all these medical problems, getting a job and holding a job wasn't a problem. Now you can't quite seem to figure out why that you're having these difficulties, whether it be because it's a down economy, the jobs are disappearing, or just maybe the demand for your services are not there. Please don't go down that magical road of assuming that a judge must take in consideration the hiring practices, because they do not. They're not looking at it from the eyes of the employer. They're looking at it through the eyes of you. Can you do the job if it's available? That's the more important inquiry. And so, please, if you're sitting there going through the disability process, remember, I don't care if you used to be a welder. If you can do a job sitting as a toll collector or a ticket taker or a greeter or system surveillance monitor where you're sitting, if you can do those jobs and that's no problem if I can find them under the regulations, it's probably a fairly good bet that you may not be found disabled. That's the focus. Oh, but nobody's going to hire me with it. They don't want to hear all that noise. Focus on you. Stop focusing on everything else. Focus on you. Again, this is Attorney Anthony Reeves. I appreciate you visiting me here today. And again, this is your Q&A, Social Security Disability.